回収プラン、投資回収プラン、LED のコストパフォーマンスについてです。工事は必要ですか？自家発が開放、トラフ型、たくさんある。科学技術研究室、コンサルタントを目指すという、何を目指しているかわからないけど、ウォールウォッシャー型、何でも知っている人だ、パソコンも直せませんでしたが、何でも知っている。日経コンピューター、2010年、クラウド相次ぎ開始、流通ビジネスの創出です。エンベレット、エンブロー、スマートモバイルソリューション、理由があります。サーバー、理由があります。サービスをご提供します。スマホ、HTML、Ruby でスマホアプリを手軽に開発、フレームワーク、コーププライベート構築がありますね。20年を突破しています。Unidix、RD2、タブレアプリ開発の手書きメモ、セーバーから評価した流れがある。スマートスポットあります。楽なところでちょっと体調は疲れますからね。LED、これは装飾品的な LED、美しい美術品的な LED もたくさんあるというね。LED 自体は変わらないんですけどね、汎用性が広がっていますね。LED は実は乾電池2つでつくという抵抗、無駄な抵抗はやめなさいということで、抵抗がなくてもつく LED ですけど、無駄な抵抗はやめなさいということなんですけど、一分であります。ビジコム、システムJF抵抗ありますね。シンデレラタイプ E、ということなんですけど、アデラスあります。インフォメーション、コントローラー、フレクトあります。パネルありますね。コントローラー、タイプあります。スマートサインがあります。ハイブリッドソーラー電動があります。LED ということで、配線線、トライレセスがあります。なんか三角ボーンがある。シェアリング、ということでございます。画面の裏ですね、スマートLED 照明、LED ということです。イノバエレクトロニクスということです。ノーニューレイ、ジャンク、レディトレイン、ライドラインタイプあります。連続照明、LED、
Had her original surgery and diagnosis in 1984. She was really extensive of
シリンダーライトがある。コンパクト蛍光ランプ企業 LED 特等シリンダーライトシリーズがあります。シリンダーフォースシリーズがあります。エコルミネスあります。代表例あります。クレレイありますね。であります。ギラの照明レア電線ペンダント照明があります。ドーム型グレア防水レンズがあります。ソケット、この国立競技場に採用していただきたいです。清水県
She's had multiple episodes of kidney stones, has had to have lithotripsy, and she does have osteoporosis from the various steroids she's received over the years. She's currently on treatment for her osteoporosis. Obviously, this is a more complicated, sick patient with Crohn's disease when I go over all these complications. Her treatment history over the years has been that she really does not think she responds to mesalamine at all, and currently is not using any 5-ASA compounds. Obviously, she's tried all of them and tried them more than once. She is intolerant to azathioprine. She gets severe nausea, vomiting, even to low doses. She did try methotrexate for a fair amount of time and had really no clinical response and is no longer taking that. She does respond to prednisone and finds that it helps her symptoms. Again, her primary symptoms have been pain and diarrhea, but she hates the side effects, and as I mentioned on her earlier, she already has osteoporosis. Her current therapy, she's been getting budesonide in Canada for a couple of years now. She takes 9 milligrams, sort of full dose, 3 pills each morning, and has been doing that for some time. For the past year, a little over a year, she's been on infliximab infusions every 8 weeks. She really thinks infliximab has dramatically helped her, particularly for pain. She has much less pain. In general, she has much improvement in sense of well-being, less fatigue. So her current therapy is really this every 8 weeks infliximab, which is very pricey, and the budesonide, which she gets in Canada. As I mentioned, her main symptoms historically were the pain, diarrhea, and general malaise. And since on infliximab, the pain and malaise are much better. She really says she feels much better, but still has a lot of problems with diarrhea, up to 15 bowel movements per day. I've tried on a couple of occasions, given her small bowel resections, bile salt binding agents. This is often the type of patient who does get bile salt-induced diarrhea once they've lost their ileocecal valve and they've had resection of a fair amount of ileum. However, she's not responded to cholestyramine or Cholested, and she's tried cholestyramine twice, Cholested once, mostly at my insistence, has not found it's helpful. She currently is taking a fair amount of Imodium, and despite all of this Imodium, still has a lot of problems with diarrhea. That's her major complaint. She occasionally is incontinent of the diarrheal stools. So, this is my first question. What treatment would you recommend now for her diarrhea? Really, how are we going to treat this lady's diarrhea? We could send her back to the surgeons for more excision of her worst affected areas of small bowel, which is her neoterminal ileum. We could add Lamodal to her Imodium. She's already on high doses of Imodium. She takes 8 to 12 a day, but you could add in Lamodal. I could restart her enteral feeding per G-tube. That was very helpful historically for control of her diarrhea, although she doesn't really like it that well, and she did get a complication from that. We could try sandostatin therapy, or we could say we have really nothing else to offer her besides her current regimen. How do you folks manage this patient? There's actually a fair amount of data on enteral feeding for Crohn's disease, and it appears to help both pain and diarrhea. You don't have to use elemental preparations either. Just standard polymeric preparation is quite helpful. It's been used a lot in pediatrics, less data in adults, but there is data in adults. It's not clear what the mechanism is, to be honest with you. It seems to me that if you're using a polymeric formula, what's the difference between eating food? I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you that the controlled data suggests it's quite effective. The problem is getting people to give up food. Nobody really wants to do that. I can't say I blame them. This is a chronic illness they have to live with, and you like to make their life as livable as possible, and eating's a big part of life. So I don't know the mechanism, though, is the answer. Why not oral enteral? Just because patients don't like drinking it, and they don't like the taste of it. But you're right, you could drink it just as well. Most people chose sandostatin. This is actually what we did, is chose sandostatin, and I wanted to use in the use of a tree type of